Hey, what's up, guys? This is Trenton here from Rebirthed. Really special day today. I'm joined by Dr. Michael Maiden. He's the senior pastor for our group of churches out in Arizona. So we get a chance to just kind of talk to him, ask him some questions. And so I'd love for you to get a chance to introduce yourself, maybe tell us a little bit about you for the one or two people watching who maybe don't know who you are.
Thanks, Trenton. I've lived in Arizona most of my life, born in Iowa, raised here, went to school here, married here, raised my kids here. So my wife won't let me be called a native, but I've lived here 54 out of 59 years. So.
Oh, wow. So really young. So I know you're married now. Take us back. So do you come from brothers, sisters, siblings, single kid?
Yeah, no, I'm the oldest child of four.
Oh, and the responsible one.
Yeah, I have a brother. He's a year younger, and two sisters. And the oldest of four.
Wow. So Iowa, you guys moved out here. What brought you guys out to Arizona?
My dad was an insurance agency executive, and they opened up back in the 60s. Phoenix was like it is now, just a mushrooming city.
Yeah.
And so he was sent out here, and he did really well in Scottsdale, beginning his agency.
Oh, wow. So first question, I'm always interested by this, especially, I think there's different dynamics. There's some people who maybe grew up in church home and some who didn't. And I'm always interested with pastors, especially of the point in the journey. Did you grow up in a Christian home, or was it like a church home, I guess, by that man?
Oh, kind of both. My parents were devout Lutherans, but they received Christ when Campus Crusade came to our Lutheran church.
Wow, okay.
And led my parents to the four spiritual laws. And then that same afternoon they were on the streets of Scottsdale witnessing. And so maybe around my 12th year or so, my parents were really on fire Christians. Yeah. And then by accident they started a church that it was in the Jesus People movement. And we had a Bible study with 100 hippies that got saved. So no church in Phoenix would take them. My dad called all the Christian churches.
Yeah.
So we started a church called New Life Chapel. And so my dad transitioned from being an insurance executive to being a pastor. My parents did, yeah.
Wow. So I'm always curious. So it sounds like for at least the greater part of maybe your teenage years, this kind of at what point, I guess, for you, and this kind of leads into when I start breaking out some youth questions, but what point for you, can you think back to a moment where I grew up in church, right? I grew up from AG my entire life. My grandpa was a pastor my whole life. I grew up in this. But I don't think it became real to me, but until I was 9 at a children's camp. And I can remember, do you remember for you, your pivotal moment of when it became something that you guys do versus your life and all of this?
Yeah, the Lord started really touching me as a young boy.
Yeah. So
I received the Holy Spirit at a camp in Big Bear, California. And I think I was 12. And then the Lord, Trenton, I would be sitting in the back row of an auditorium with 1,000 people in it, and the speaker would stop speaking. He said, that boy, stand up, God's called you to ministry. So I had that happen maybe a half a dozen times over the next 2 or 3 years. So the Lord made it real positive, a real confirming assurance, hey, I'm supposed to serve God in the ministry. I had those kinds of encounters with God.
Yeah.
That really formed the foundation for my future.
When you look at media, so you're talking about the social media platforms, and you talk about even just all of the kind of media platforms that are out there, what do you feel is the church's role? How do you think that media can help equip us to reach people? Because when I look out, and this is just coming from maybe one perspective for me, is I see that a lot of churches have maybe developed ways to promote themselves through media, but we haven't really cultivated what media does, because people live there, right? So how do you do that? Do you think that it is something we should be aiming to do? What are your thoughts there?
Yeah. So I talk about, I preach about here, the 7 mountains of culture, the family, church, business, government, education, arts, and media.
I didn't bring that up. You wrote a book on it, right?
Yeah. And media, the stronghold of media is fear. The inheritance of media is power. In Revelation 5 it says these 7 things belong to Christ. One of them is power.
Wow.
Communication is power. The church, I think, has been schizophrenic in its approach to media.
Wow.
We criticize it all the time, and then occasionally participate in it. But it's not. Media is neutral. So David hurls a stone, it flies across the air, goes to the forehead of Goliath. Goliath's unconscious. David stands over his body and doesn't have a sword.
Right.
He reaches down and grabs Goliath's sword and cuts off Goliath's head with his own sword. The moment David touched that sword had made thousands of widows, had turned women into widows, had made little boys orphans, had created havoc for decades, and had innocent blood. But the moment David touched it, it became holy. And that's what media is. It's not intrinsically anything. It's a kingdom, it's a mountain, it's a realm of influence, it's a resource. It depends on who holds it. Hollywood's only evil because we're letting the wrong people run it, and we've run from it instead of run into it. But now the church is, I think, beginning to reconsider. In your church, in our church, we shouldn't tell every person that feels called to be an actor or actress, oh, that's no. They should do that. Yeah. We need Christian people to produce, to direct, to act, to write, the whole thing. So media is, I think, the greatest thing the church has had since Pentecost.
Wow.
And because today or last night when I preached, we live streamed and so thousands of people around the world watched it, along with people over in church. And so people all over the world now, because of media, now because of YouTube and other parts of media that are free or inexpensive, the gospel is allowed to go. So on the internet, the 2 groups that benefit the most from the internet are preachers and pornographers. And we have to seize the full potential of what God has in media. So just imagine if and I appreciate what you guys are doing in media. Just imagine if God gave you an idea, Trenton, that was so creative in immediate expression that the world took notice of it, in spite of the messaging. Yeah. So the style and the creativity, and it's like, whoa. And so just imagine if we were doing the most creative things, the most dynamic things, the most expressing things. That's how you get a table at the seat. That's how you get a seat at the table of influence. Yeah. Is have the best ideas, and so media is phenomenal. There's a harshness, a negative side to it. Is that you and I both have friends that are more famous on social media than they are in real life.
Come on, yeah.
So in this regard, that they convey something on social media that they're not living right at home, Yeah. So they're at home in their underwear, talking at, watching something they should be watching, and the text and all this great thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So media has a kind of a false presentation. Mm-hmm. But I'm willing to totally live with that for the good things. So people now, for example, talk about schooling. So you can, if you wanted to, you can. There's 3 or 4 massively awesome universities, Christian universities, that you could go to school online now with. Yep. Just think about that and get a wonderful degree. Yep. And so I'm about to put 1,000 sermons on YouTube. So I want them to get out there so people can grow and just access them all. So I think for us, having media is unbelievable. I think we've undervalued what it means. Yeah. But like David, we had to run to the battle and take the sword, and I think that's really a picture of reclaiming our voice in media and allowing God to use us.